Hai, tuketi tafadhali. Ndugu Katibu Mkuu wa KOTU Bwana Francis Atwoli na wafanyikazi wa nchi yetu tukufu la Kenya ambao wamefika hapa leo na wale ambao wanatusikiza kutoka kona mbalimbali za nchi yetu, nisome tu kidogo yale ambayo niko naye. Tuko hapa kusherehekea na pia kushukuru wafanyikazi wa taifa letu la Kenya. And I begin by saying to the workers of Kenya that this day has been set aside to celebrate your contributions and achievements in building this great nation. Every man, woman, and child knows what your work means to all of us. For everyone who has been to school, who eats, who has shelter, and the support that we give one another in times of celebration or mourning, we know that there is a worker to thank. There is no achievement our nation can count on, no vision for the future that we have together that does not have the worker at its center. And today we celebrate you. Today, the fruit of your labor fills every heart with thanksgiving. From the very early days of our nation, the demand for equal pay was part and parcel of our independence struggle. And though we have come a long way, we still have ahead of us the great task of building a prosperous Kenya that feeds its people, provides decent and affordable health care, and provides decently paying jobs to every Kenyan who wants to work. Today, we are slightly over 50 years as an independent nation, and indeed, big achievements are notable behind our work. For without doubt, today we live longer than we did at the dawn of our country, and we have a far more educated as well as knowledgeable citizenry. Indeed, as your president, I've had the opportunity to speak to workers from every part of our country, and I've also heard of the urgent appeals from many Kenyans who are looking for jobs and better livelihoods without success. We do understand how difficult it is for many Kenyans to afford educating a child well, to put food on the table, and a roof over the heads of your families. Your struggle to provide while working hard and hoping and praying for the best, I want to assure you, is always on my mind. My foremost task, therefore, and that of my administration, is to ensure that we are developing a growing economy that produces good jobs in large numbers and improved livelihood as well as opportunity. And that is why we are aggressively pursuing a transformative strategy to ensure rapid social economic development, our work on building new roads, a world-class railway, the expansion of our ports and airports, our rapid lowering of barriers to trade and investment, our insistence on improving the quality of education, by having the most honest exams in decades, eliminating exam fees, as well as accelerating vocational training. All these efforts and many others we have undertaken are motivated by one thing alone: to build a prosperous economy that allows all of us to earn decent wages and create jobs for those who want to work. And available evidence shows that we are managing to create a large number of jobs. And I believe that more jobs are on the way. The worker and the employer must be like two sides of the same coin. They depend on one another and should rise together. My administration's reforms and investments, I believe, will make us an even more attractive destination for both domestic and foreign investors, which will allow us to produce more jobs. Our workers deserve to be safe also in their work conditions, and that is why my administration has reconstituted the National Council for Occupational Safety and Health, and it will defend the right of workers in the workplace by monitoring the compliance by employers. We have also revisited the National Labor Board and a number of wage councils, and we now have 2 new wage councils, the building construction industry and the private protective security services, and I am hopeful that they will improve working conditions in their respective sectors. We are keen to help you, our workers, to know your rights under the law, and together with KOTU, as well as the Federation of Kenyan Employees, we have developed a mobile labor law application that can be accessed online as well as on our mobile phones. The demand for the skills, hard work, and honesty of our people has also enabled many of our workers to find jobs in foreign countries. Majority have had a positive experience and have helped to send home remittances that are a major part of our economy. But indeed, as Brother Atwoli has said, I would like to say that we are well aware as a government that these workers' rights are sometimes abused when working abroad, and indeed there have been distressing incidences when Kenyan workers have been exploited and abused. To protect this category of workers, my administration has streamlined the registration and management of foreign employment agencies, and I strongly urge every Kenyan going abroad to use the approved agencies. You should also make sure that you register at the Kenyan Embassy serving the foreign country that you are in. Lakini tumesema ya kwamba especially to certain countries in the Middle East, we still maintain a ban on domestic workers until we have reached a position where we can agree on terms and conditions for our workers. But even as we take care of existing workers and work on job creation for those without jobs, we are also not forgetting the workers who have also retired. Indeed, we have expanded the cash transfer program for the elderly. Every Kenyan who is 70 years old and above is now eligible for the cash transfer program. We are also concerned with workers who fall ill or are injured. I know how much the hospital bills can cripple families and even drive them to bankruptcy. And that is why we have reformed the National Social Security Fund and the National Hospital Insurance Fund so that the number of Kenyans receiving health care through these institutions have also risen sharply. And indeed, it will not be long, I believe, before every Kenyan has access to health care insurance. Through the Ajira digital program, we're also introducing young people to online work while providing training and mentorship. And this will continue opening up a worldwide employment market while ensuring that our youth keep building skills that allow them to raise their incomes steadily. World-class technology companies are also establishing their regional and continental headquarters in Kenya, and they are doing this because they know our people are by far the most competitive in the region and are increasingly world-class in significant numbers. We have already approved Kenya shillings 40 billion for the development of the Konza Technopolis infrastructure, and construction is underway. Construction of this new city will generate at least 16,000 direct jobs as it is being built, and well over 200,000 upon completion. We have followed this with a grant for the establishment of a postgraduate university at Konza, the Kenya Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, and it will help produce the highly qualified scientists and engineers who will transform our country. Fellow Kenyans, I understand that you want to have more disposable income to be able to meet your family's needs. I am aware the workers on lower income brackets are indeed struggling to afford basic necessities, and it is not fair that they should be taxed heavily. Over the last 2 years, my administration has progressively increased the tax bracket and has cut tax rates for workers on lower income brackets. Today, under the new finance bill, minimum taxable income is Kenya shillings 13,475, meaning that anybody earning that and below shall no longer be applicable to pay tax. Workers, again, your dedication and hard work is appreciated by a grateful nation, and we understand your daily struggles too, and are working hard to tackle these challenges. We know that for 2 straight years, we have not increased the minimum wage, and so after consultation with key stakeholders, I have directed that the minimum wage be increased by 18%. In addition, we have increased the non-taxable bonuses and overtime to Kenya shillings 100,000. I know that employers are concerned about increased wages and its impact on the economy. I have therefore directed the Cabinet Secretary for Industrialization to urgently convene a meeting with stakeholders so that we can explore measures to cushion our employers also from costs associated with non-labor factors. Hii kitu ni mrefu. Fellow Kenyans, your work is building a vibrant Kenya. We need to stay the course. What every country that has emerged from widespread poverty to an inclusive prosperity possesses is decades of peace and stability. Indeed, as we enter the election season, we must remember that violence and discord has always been at the expense of the worker. They have led to layoffs, lack of investment, and suffering. Compare that to those of rich nations in parts of Asia whose economies were even smaller than ours 50 years ago. They managed to hold on to their peace and stability over long periods of time. We have built a good foundation to transform our country, and in the last 4 years, we have laid the necessary foundation for a rapid upward rise. Tunataka kuendelea namna hiyo mkitupatia nafasi. Wenzetu, nikifunga, nataka kusema ya kwamba kwa huu muda wa miaka 4.5 tumefanya mengi kama serikali ya Jubilee. na tumefanya mengi kuhakikisha hata viwanda ambavyo vilikuwa vimefungwa kama Rivertex, kiwanda cha kutengeneza magari kule Thika, vimefufuliwa, na ndio tuweze kuhakikisha watu wetu wako na kazi. Na tukisonga mbele, tunataka pia kuona kiwanda cha Kikomi kule Kisumu, ile ingine ilikuwa kule Mount Kenya ya textiles, zimefufuliwa, na tuweze kuongeza upandaji wa pamba katika taifa letu la Kenya, na ndio vijana wetu waweze kupata ajira. Mambo haya tuendelea kuyatenda, na ndipo hata sasa, hata tukiwa tunaongeza mishahara, naambia wale ambao wanaajiri ya kwamba tutafanya juu chini pia kuwasaidia kwa njia mbalimbali, ndio waweze kukushen hiyo nyongeza kwa njia ambaye haita dhulumu mfanyikazi wa jamhuri yetu ya Kenya. Na ndipo hata juzi tulisema ya kwamba hata viwanda yetu vya EPZ waweze kuwa na nafasi ya kuuza nguo ambazo wanatengeneza katika taifa letu la Kenya. Na tuliona juzi wakati tulifanya show ya kwanza, na tunataka kuzisambaza katika kila kona ya Kenya, zaidi ya Wakenya 150,000 waliingia katika Kenyatta Conference Center hapa kununua nguo mpya ambazo zimetengenezwa na Wakenya hapa kwa bei nafuu. Na tunataka kuendelea hivyo, na ndipo tuwasema hii 20% ambayo tulikuwa tumesema ya kwamba tutaruhusu wawe wanauza katika taifa la Kenya, tunataka tuiongeze hata ifike 40%, na ndio hawa waweze kuajiri Wakenya zaidi, na badala ya Wakenya kuwa wanavaa mitumba, wawe wananunua nguo mpya ambazo zimeundwa katika taifa lao la Kenya. Hiyo ndio tuwataka, na mimi sina shaka ya kwamba tukifanya haya, badala ya kuunda nguo hapa, tunaziweka kwa meli, zinakwenda zinavawa na mzungu akishamaliza nazo zinarudishwa kwa meli, ati ndio sisi tukuje tuvae. Tunataka kuvaa nguo mpya ambazo zimetengenezwa na Wakenya wenzetu na ziwe zimeundwa kwa bei nafuu. Na hata hivi karibuni hata magari itakuwa hivyo. Kwa hivyo kwa wale ambao wanauza mitumba, mimi nawasihi, tuko sasa na nafasi ya kununua nguo mpya hapa kwetu. Tafadhalini nendeni muone yale ambayo yanaundwa katika taifa letu. Tuache kununua mitumba kutoka nje, tuanze kununua na kuuzia Wakenya nguo ambazo zimeundwa na zimetengenezwa katika taifa letu la Kenya. Kwa hayo machache na mengi, ndugu Atuoli, mimi nasema asante kwa kutualika tuwe pamoja nanyi, na sisi tuwasema tutaungana pamoja nanyi, tuwe na uchaguzi wa amani, tuwe na uchaguzi wa huru, na mimi sina shaka, na tunaomba Wakenya watupatie nafasi kama wana Jubilee